Richard Cook is a mid-sized practice of chartered accountants which is based in London. We provide audit and tax services for companies who seek expression of interest from us. Internal Audit Services. System Audit. Through the provision of our System Audit service to Sheridan AV, we will be able to understand the objectives that you have for system, and consequently we will determine what control objective should be put into place. We then require to identify and assess the effectiveness of control that exists to decrease the chance of failing to accomplish the control objectives. We are then going to identify high-risk areas which may affect the business from attaining their objectives and the controls that are put into place to avoid this risk. Controls need to be in place to ensure that Sheridan AV is free from error, fraud and theft. From the information acquired, we have noted that one of Sheridan AV's weaknesses is that there is a lack of internal control and the system in the company that do not necessarily avoid. This is why we will conduct compliance and substantive testing. The result of the test will show if the lack of the control in the business has led to loss. If this is the case, this will be reported to management so that it can be acted upon. Additionally, we will then be able to provide guidance and advice on eliminating the cause of the weakness. Financial Audit. A financial audit will be beneficial in ensuring that Sheridan AV keeps accurate and complete financial reports and will also evaluate the financial reporting process. To do this, we will first collect financial documentation and send it to the accounting department so that it can be processed. We will then review the company record-keeping policies to make sure that the financial records are stored properly. This will assure that all the accounts are existent, that the financial information is recorded in a timely manner, and that the account system is able to detect errors. We will also check internal controls to measure how protected Sheridan AV is from theft and fraud. The next step will be to check the company's external records with internal records to see if there are any discrepancies. We will be able to evaluate the internal tax records and tax returns by comparing Sheridan AV's tax receipt with the tax paid. We will then create a report which will include our conclusion and recommendation along with any areas which need to be corrected. Tax Services. Corporate Tax Advice. Maximizing tax efficiency and simplicity is no easy task, but we can help you develop the right approach for Sheridan AV. We can help you plan a tax-efficient approach to every aspect of your business, one that sees the whole picture and works with you to protect the interests of your stakeholders. Our tax team have extensive experience in handling all types of communication and negotiation with HM Revenue and Customs. We can help you consider your overall tax strategy to ensure it fits for the expansion plan in Spain. Our compliance service gives you assurance that your tax compliance obligation in the UK and Spain are being effectively managed, thus adding value into the process to manage tax risks and effective tax rates. VAT and indirect tax. Your VAT needs may range from routine compliance to specialized advice. The complexity of your organization, we can support your business strategies and provide expert advice to manage your tax risks and liabilities. We can provide you with tailored, practical and commercial advice which is specific to your business need. Our specialized team can help you plan a VAT-efficient approach to every aspect of your business to enhance cash flow and minimize risk, such as providing VAT consulting and compliance service for cross-border or UK supplies of goods and services, and assist you in implementing your VAT strategy. If Brexit do happen, it will give a huge impact to Sheridan AV, especially for expansion plan in Spain, because the tax will be charged the same as other non-EU countries, as UK is not under EU trading legislation. Implication of expanding to Spain. Expanding the business branch will be an ideal progression when the revenue generated by the business has increased. However, this does come with numerous implications. Tax are a big factor when expanding to another country, as the corporate tax rate isn't always the same. For example, the corporate tax rate for the UK is 19% on all profits, and the corporate tax rate for Spain is 25% for small companies with a turnover less than 10 million. The company needs to be aware of this tax level. Before the business can expand to another country, you will need to decide who your target market is. This leads to money being spent on advertising, setting up office, hiring staff to maintain the overseas branch, and transporting goods. There will also be a risk of not receiving payment. the overseas customers creates an increase in difficulty to certify any trade receivables. The company will need to plan some procedures to prepare for any risk like this happening. Other issues involved with an expansion to another country will be the foreign exchange risk. Trading with another country isn't straightforward. Once the company has attracted potential consumers, you will need to complete any transaction efficiently to eliminate the possibility of transaction risk. The longer it takes to settle a contract, the more likely the exchange rate will change, thus creating uncertainty with the value being received from the transaction. Lending to another country means a fraction of the company's assets and liabilities is denominated in a foreign currency. The risk is a change in value of assets and liabilities as a result of the exchange rate. This uncertainty can make it difficult to fulfill any future finance decision, as the company will need to have a provision for loss caused by change in exchange rates. Other countries hold different political events which could affect the returns from investment. For example, Brexit could impact UK trading, as this political change may discourage outside investors to invest. Controlling investment involves monitoring management, the portfolio and performance of the company. Having international branch means the business will have to find ways of contacting this office to enable their control on the investment. This can be costly and time-consuming. Risk area. There are many risks associated with Sheridan AV, such as the exponential increase in revenue, which has led to potential wasteful and unproductive spending that they might be unaware of. Hence, we could need to detect the risks and any misstatements that the previous internal auditors may have not accounted for. Furthermore, the nature of the market that Sheridan AV is in is very dynamic. This means that it is constantly changing, which could pose as a threat for them. This is because they will have to constantly innovate in order to survive in the market. Sheridan AV have also acquired a warehouse for expansion, which comes with great inherent risks. This links to the fact that we are still unaware of whether the growth is actual and can be facilitated by the new warehouse. Another key risk in the control risk regarding the disclosure of materials such as inventories. This is because there is significant stockpiling in the company that may not be accounted for in the company. Benefit for working with us. It will be advantageous since Sheridan AV is a growing company and likely to exceed the turnover threshold in the near future. Thus, it can avoid having to revisit the previous year figures once the threshold has been reached because of a reliable audit statement. Next, it will enhance the credibility and reliability of account and audit statement, which is beneficial for attraction of other stakeholders to join business, such as employees, customers, suppliers, investors, and tax authorities. We will facilitate the provision of advice that can have real financial benefits for Sheridan AV, especially on how the business is running, what margins can be expected, and how this can be achieved. We can identify weakness in the accounting system and enable suggestions for improvement to Sheridan AV. Lastly, we can provide assurance to shareholders that Sheridan AV can reduce fraud, which directors will not involve in the accounting functions, and it shows a true and fair view statement. Hence, as chartered accountants, we aim to provide service for Sheridan AV that will improve the sustainability of their company. This is through looking at their tax services and any service provided abroad, as well as aiding their audit department through looking at potential risks through expansion and their overseas operation in Spain.